Hello and welcome here on the Tunze YouTube channel. See where we are? We are still at the ReefAPalooza show in Dallas. Next to me is Mike. We somehow spontaneously catch him here for a YouTube video, and I'm very thankful that he's here for a little discussion about, is it officially the smallest reef tank?
We make one size smaller, but
Really?
this is the most portable reef tank. To my knowledge, it's the only airline approved reef tank in the world.
Airline approved. This morning I just came to this stand here and I was like, oh, this is a tiny tank. And then he said, you know what, there is someone who traveled around the world. You know, I was first thinking I asked you some questions, but
Sure.
Maybe the best question is probably the whole day you had to answer so many.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
there are some stupid questions probably as well, aren't they?
There are some repeat offenders, but you know, there's no such thing as a stupid question. You know, I'll answer anything.
Yeah, you're wearing this only now here for the show.
Correct. Yeah. Usually it lives in a tote bag. I wear it like this for coral shows and networking events. If I'm looking to meet people and say hello a bunch, then I put this thing on it.
That's probably the best way.
Yeah, it works great. It's totally. I had no idea it would be useful for that when I built it, but
Cool.
you know, I didn't envision the necklace. I envisioned a tiny tank that I could take with me, but it works.
He mentioned that you take the tank with you because you're traveling a lot usually.
Yeah, so I travel for work, and I don't really have a home or anything.
Oh, wow.
So if I wanted to keep corals still, I had to find a way to keep them in hotel rooms and on airplanes and rental cars and job sites and all of that. So this guy goes everywhere I go.
Nobody would think of, if you say you travel with your pets,
Yeah,
nobody would think about a tank.
A lot of places don't have a policy for it either. So sometimes it's like, oh, like do you guys allow this? Well, we don't disallow it.
Cool.
Let's talk it through. Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
Wow.
But I never get charged pet fees because it's not furry.
Yes.
I just ask them, hey, would you let me have a thermos of soup?
Yeah.
Because that'll do way more damage if I spill it than this would. Usually the soup rule works out, you know.
So how did this all started actually?
I met Harley at a trade show.
Yeah.
It was Reef Stock Denver last year.
Oh, really? Cool.
Took a friend to get him excited about the hobby because I was giving him a bunch of equipment when I got rid of all of my things.
Yeah.
And then my friend knew I can do electrical work and keep coral both at a pretty high level, and saw the tiny tank and just said like, hey, you got to be able to travel with this.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you take that with you?
Oh, really?
So that was the challenge, and it took a month or so of setting it up and doing trials by car before I took it on a flight, and now they've got at least 100,000 miles on airplanes.
Wow.
They've seen more of the United States than most people ever do. Like most people that live here their whole life.
Wow.
In 8 months, you know, they've really seen a whole lot. So
Wow.
yeah, it's fun.
Amazing. Let's talk about the livestock in it. Oh, wow. You're disassembling it for us. Okay. Now I'm interested.
This costs extra though, I'm just kidding. So I 3D printed the enclosure for the buttons and found some pre-manufactured pulse width controllers. I'll give you the tour of the guts of the equipment.
So this means it's DIY by your own? Nobody helped you?
Yeah, the whole thing is sort of, and it's got like a Wi-Fi smart switch on the light too, so I can ask Google to turn the reef off at night if I'm not near it, which is pretty handy. So that guy pops open there, and then I can usually get this one to open up for me. Gotta be careful with it, but I ripped out the factory driver. It had a circuit board in it, and built constant current power supplies so I can pulse width, but I'm always getting maximum output from the lights even as they're flashing, so I can dim the lights here. And then the pump runs through the new button, so the factory light button is the return pump now.
Oh, cool.
And it's a wave maker, so it's like a heated jacket switch that turns the, you know, heated jackets do medium heat by going on and off every few seconds. So I use that same switch to power my pump to get a more natural growth in the coral.
Wow.
Where it'll, you know, pulse on and off at different duty cycles. And then instead of running the wire out of the side, it runs out the back. You just keep a clean look.
Absolutely.
And then all the connections in there for everything else. So the pump rendezvous in here and all of this stuff, you know, just for power. The main battery, this is the backup battery. The main battery is more sealed up on all the other ports against salt creep. But the backup sometimes gets used for other stuff, so it's not, you know, the same way.
And how long does it run from this battery?
I've been going at full power since about 9:30 this morning. It's almost 6 o'clock, and I still got a third left. If I kill the power down, I can get about 16 hours out of one battery, and I carry two with me. So I can go for about 32 hours on, you know, without a wall.
If you come home, what is your procedure then?
So I used to have to unplug everything,
Yeah.
and I had a harness with a bunch of USBs on it. It was a huge pain. It took 5 minutes. Now I just plug it in like a cell phone.
Okay.
Pass through.
Cool.
So you plug it in one USB-C, or I get in the car if I'm driving on a road trip.
Yeah.
Just run a cord from the console down to my feet and plug it in, and it'll run nonstop. Yeah.
Wow.
It's great. It works out really well.
When I came to the US and I'm telling everybody this is my first show in the US, I expected something special, but I never thought of you and this,
I don't know if I'm
special tank. Really
I don't know.
cool.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people here doing cooler stuff than this, but this is my weird that I'm contributing. Everybody's got to bring some weird. If you get German Customs to bless me and not be worried about, and save me the worry, I'll bring this thing out there.
Wow.
I've always wanted to do an international flight with it, but I'm scared of customs. I don't want them to think I'm importing something I shouldn't be, or trying to quarantine my fish and then they die or whatever.
Yeah, the Europeans are tough. Yeah.
Well, and even going back to the States would be the biggest nightmare. I don't even want to go to Florida with it.
Okay.
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super fun. It's worked out. And the heater's way oversized. I'm working on a chiller right now. So I've been taking it to job sites in the winter that are about 30 degrees. The heater's oversized, so I can stick my fingers in the water to warm up if I get too cold. And then the chiller hopefully will let me go to, Texas heat job sites and be out there in 100 degrees and not have to worry about them.
Yeah.
We'll
so you said you just started a year ago?
Yep. Yeah, just a year. It was a year on March 1st. So we just passed it.
I can hear the journey just started and you're improving it almost every week probably.
This is version, as far as like real big redos, this is about version 4 of the electronics.
Yeah.
And the sealing and the plumbing and all of that. Version 1 was that tank with packing tape on it and a battery bank next to it.
Okay.
Yeah. It was real rough, but that's what got it started. The day I got it, we had it plugged into taped shut with packing tape, and got it home and started messing around with sealing it and ways to get into the lid and ways to redo the lights and make it simpler to take care of.
What is your opinion that someone is copying it, the idea?
I totally support it. I think everybody should make one. I hope next year when I come, it's not weird. I hope I'm asking you and him and everybody else what's in their tiny reef and trading little frags.
Yeah.
I think it'd be sweet. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Expect some challenges.
Cool.
But it's fun. It's a good time.
You already convinced the man behind the camera.
I think it's a great way to go. Yeah, and he's building one too.
Cool.
Yeah, Kyle's gonna be on it. So we're gonna be out here. We're making it happen. I want it to be normal. I'm sick of standing out. Whenever I go to the bar and want to just look at my fish tank and read, people come up all the time. I want it to be normal.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Typically, when I visit people at home and show their tank, then we are, we knee down and it's like, what's inside your thumb?
Well, I can open the stand for you.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll run mechanical filtration here, but I got marine pier beads. They're gems. I've got the sump with refugium with Kato, and then pineapple for freshness. And then a little heater and a return pump. It's super straightforward. The baffle breaks up the waves, so when the tank moves side to side,
cool.
You can see this one gets way higher than these guys because it has a shorter period. So it's less splashing. But it's not bad. It's a real simple sump. I mean, the only thing I need to change, I need to cut these overflows off and put tubes so that it'll be able to remove the sump without taking the whole thing apart. Right now I have to take the electronics off and then the light off and the tank out and then the sump comes out.
Yeah.
It's a pain. Small problems. First world problems, am I right? This is the tank's diaper bag. This has everything I use to take care of it on the road because we don't have a home base. So I got an airline and a window tinner squeegee in here, little towel, filter media and floss, pre-cut for it. 1,000 tweezers, cut up a hotel front desk toothbrush to make a glass scraper.
Cool.
For a while I didn't know about a magnet one. Julian Sprung at Two Little Fishes though makes the only magnetic cleaner that works well for these tanks. When I go to feed them at a bar, I don't want to look like a weirdo. I used to have a pea cup and a pipette out and it's just not a good look. So now I've got little vials that we'll take out to feed them. I make all of my fish food look like drugs so that I can, mess with them. Just for fun, right? Why not mess with the bartender a little bit? Hey, what are you doing over there? And then glue, tweezers, spare rubber bands in case one snaps, salinity pen, and these things. Get a micro reef, find a set of these things. It's the only way to reach the middle of the tank under the light without taking it off. But it's been great. Just a little tiny supply. I keep this and then a bottle of fresh water and a bottle of salt water. and it's all good to go.
Cool.
And when I start running low, I've never bought salt or filter floss. I just find somebody that has it. I say, hey man, can I have the corner of your stash? It's a lifetime supply. I'll be good for 6 months. You know, whatever you would use tomorrow, let me just have that.
Yeah.
You know, here's $5. That's great. Highly recommend.
So thank you very much for this interview.
Yeah, of course.
You know, probably this will be the coolest video that I'm going to do. I shouldn't say something like that, but maybe in 2 weeks I'm like, okay, this is definitely the coolest video here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honored if that's the case. I think there's some pretty sweet stuff going around.
Yeah.
But it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, as we know Mike and his story and carrying around his tank in his life and during the last year, we should now introduce Harley. He is actually the man behind these small tanks and you know the reason why this all started. Tell us about your story.
Yeah, hey Felix, thanks for having us. Here at PNW Custom, I wanted to do something completely different. What I wanted to do was I wanted to make the smallest reef tank I could just for myself, just to show people that it was possible and to make the smallest scale work. So what I did is I crafted a teeny little overflow like a big tank. I put in a little double drain in there so it has an emergency and a main valve. And I even spent time to see how much flow was going through it. So I made sure that we had a good amount of tank turnover in that tank. And then I just kind of posted it online showing off what I did for myself. All of a sudden, it went viral. So it went from me just doing this for friends and showing it off to local people to all of a sudden the internet was asking, where do I get one? So I posted it up online. I posted actually a batch of 10 and all of a sudden within 5 minutes, all of them sold out. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. Fast forward a couple weeks and I went to my first trade show with it, Aquashella. When I brought it to Aquashella, it was like the highlight of the show. Everyone was coming and swarming over this tank and just talking about it. And it was crazy because I just made this for me, never intended on selling it. We went and had our first big order, learned how to manufacture these on a big scale. And from there, it's just literally become our most popular product ever, which is really cool. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the tank and kind of where it's gone from. So we started this tank with using clear for the little overflow and for the return drains, which we quickly learned we needed to make black so that we didn't have any algae buildup. We also started the tank with only a lid on the top and then quickly learned that we could also put a lid on the bottom and that would cut down evaporation substantially. The biggest killer in a small tank like this is going to be the evaporation and those constant changes. So by mitigating with those lids, we were able to reduce the salinity swings and make it actually feasible to keep. The biggest problem that I've found over the years that people were commenting on is we used to have a square light over it, which you may have saw before. So we've now updated to this little tiny round light. It has amazing colors for both the blue and the UV diodes at a 22K spectrum. So not only does it look good, but it actually grows the corals and is able to sustain life. So that was one of the biggest things that we updated and changed, as well as made an articulable light mount bracket. We've made some changes over the years, but this is our final form factor of this tank. And it's so awesome just to see how many people have enjoyed this.
A question, maybe the followers want to know, where do I get one?
Absolutely. So we sell them on our website, pnw-custom.com. They're also available on saltwateraquarium.com, on Amazon. And our goal with this is just to bring more people into the hobby with it and to enjoy something on a completely different scale. Because you get those massive big tanks, but you can't keep things like the little sexy shrimp and the invertebrates that might get eaten. But when you have something specialized for that, it's really fun to watch and to get to see things grow up close in person.
It's even made in the USA?
Yeah, it's made in my shop back home.
Really?
Yep.
Cool.
You can make everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Is the camera running?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's grown from me just wanting to do something for myself to being able to share this and really expand in the hobby and do things that are completely different and out of the norm.
Yeah. At least in Germany, maybe it's the same here, with tanks getting nicer and bigger, more professional and more expensive. When someone is starting, he's afraid of the hobby. And with such a thing, you're doing a good job for the hobby and for the new people coming into the hobby.
Absolutely.
That's really great.
Yeah, we're focused on the educational side.
Yes.
So we actually crafted little tiny checklists that you can learn and follow along every single day. Check off what you've done. We have little guides. So when you get the tanks, you can actually open this up and follow along with the guide, showing you how to set it up, how to make your escape, how to maintain it. You can scan our QR code, watch all the YouTube videos that we make.
Cool.
We make compatibility charts, so what is best to fit inside of these tanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
A great pleasure to meet you. A very nice story. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for being a part of the journey.
Check out his website. We put a link down in the description below so you can have a look at them and support his great work.
And we ship all over the world, so no matter where you are, we'll get a tank to you.
Wow, perfect.